That is why we are blind people, the blind place, and politely. It's because our mind has been tutored. So when the war starting, it was a mid-December where the opposition needed even to move in the different movement and different way. African organizations that on behalf and stand on behalf of Africans was just watching, like when you have in distance for someone, when you're watching the video, even the people are just moving there, there's no way for you to catch. They call the international community. Are we not international community? Every part of the Africans, they go to support the opposition and others go to support the government to fuel the wars, and they are African. This is because of tribalism. What mind me? They are South Sudanese. What mind me? They are Ghanaian, Burundian, Ivory Coast, Tanzanian, Rwandan, Ethiopian. Let them die. In your country, the story of the war that was happening last year, I was here. I have never seen the African leaders to condemn the war that is happening between the Ethiopian government and the opposition. But when the war happening the 24th February in this year between the Russia and Ukraine, the first continent on earth to condemn this war, an African country. And they will not condemn what is going in the own affairs. Are the really people capable to do what they need to do? This is the thing that we need to know. If we need our weakness, then we'll come up to do what we can do for our weakness. But if we will not expose our weakness, we will say that I'm good and you're good. What kind of thing that we're going to? Everyone go and support the interest, because when I will tell the wrong to that mistake, the money that I have from him, I will not get from him. The person that I have, that I will be removed, or he will kill me. If I'm allied to the president, I will support him. If I'm allied to the vice president, I will support him. If they are in different opposition party, let them die. What mind me? It is the same minister now in our country, in every country in Africa. Every country need to depend on interests of their tribes. This is a very unfortunate history that can show that if you fail to manage the problem of the child, are you capable to manage the problem of the elements? If the two men are fighting in the history that we know, it's too hard for you as an individual to catch them. But if they are the children who are fighting, then you can catch the one and catch the one by your own hand. It means that South Sudan is a very small child in East Africa where even they have no aircrafts during the time, where there's never the military tanks. But where they get this, they've been supported by African interests to kill their own brothers. And they complain that we have African Union and complain that we are the leaders. The leader is the leader with a purpose, like the leader Emperor Tewodros, the great man, the Meneliks, the Haile Selassie in your country. Everyone knows Emperor Tewodros, photo here. The first gun was made here in this country, the Gapa industry in 1868. It's because the leadership with the purpose and the passion and the vision and the pet of generation to come. And this is what we need to fight, and this is what we need to know in our lifetime as Africans. I wish if Haile Selassie of Ethiopia is alive. I wish if Namze Zekwe of Nigeria is alive. And I wish if Tamara Michelle of Mozambique is alive. And I wish if Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso is alive. And I wish if the great man is alive. That day that the war was starting in South Sudan on 15 December, on 16 December on mid-morning, they must arrive in Juba International Airport. If those leaders, plus the men is alive, great man Amel Cabral of Guinea-Bissau, Augusto Nito of Angola, they must arrive in Juba International Airport. And what they was asking the two leaders, only the two words, they will not use more than this. You were poured with the Sudan for 21st year to get your independence, and you now let the people to kill themselves. What is the reason behind that? If there's no solution, the number two, the word will say that we need peace now. Kwame will ask, we need peace. The peace must prevail now. If there's no one to need the peace, the force must be used to let the peace to take the place. I'm quite sure the escalation and drastic situation that is going cannot be, because it was a leadership with the purpose and the passion and the vision in their life. And I'm quite sure if they're alive, they'll be know what we talk Ethiopia today, or Ghana, or Burundi, Tanzania, Ivory Coast. we will have a United States of Africa with one purpose. On this weight, I need to assure trust. The problem that now we have been facing here in our every African country, the tribalism, is not a problem of the tribalism. I discovered that my problem in South Sudan as an individual is not between the Nur and Dinka, and the Dinka problem is from me and Dinka. The problem here is not between you and Amaran, and the problem of Amaran is not from the Dinka. The problem of the Makwa or Mozambique is not a problem of the Chona or Shogana in Mozambique. The problem of the Tutsi in the Rwanda is not from the Hutu in the Rwanda. The problem of the Berberi of Egypt is not the problem of the Kovo or the Egyptian in the Egypt. The problem of the Igbo is not the problem of Yoruba in Nigeria. The problem of the Kisi of Kenya is not the problem of the Luoya of Kalenjin of Kenya. The problem that we face as the tribal problem is not our problem, but our problem is inside us. My problem is inside me, and your problem is inside. The same thing, the problem that we're facing now is not the problem of the leaders, but we have a 95% as the African population, African citizen. Only 5 has been used by our leaders. You know, the football players are 22 in the number. All of them are playing the fields. The goal may be brought by 1 or 2. But the rest does not mean that they are not a player, they are players. But those players, they support those who bring the goals. We support our leaders to misusing us like a tool because we have been mind possession and polite. There are 3 things that I need to share with us, the thing that we are now doing as an African politician, African citizen, African youth. The number one that we are doing to let our leaders to gain their own interest is happening now in Mali, in the Sudan, in Chad, in Morocco. The people need to emerge to take the government that the government was in system is not good, but the government that they need is good than that the government. But this is not the point. The point is we don't know the direction that we are now going. Number one, we have the people who support our leaders to make the coup, and because of tribes. I cannot say that the reality the man is from that tribe, but I would say the reality the man is from my tribe. This is the number one. We support them because our leaders. Number two, we are the one whom elect our leaders need to become the leaders. And the way we elect them is pocket high by the money. In election, when you had today, there will be a contestant. If you had the National Ethiopian Radio TV, and the radio said that there is a Gaddafi who elected the Ethiopian president, there is Maseret Worko, there's Ababa Tadesse. As an African politician who say that I'm the qualified PhD and professor master, then the first question that comes to African mind is, today I had Maseret Worko. He's from which tribes? It's from which tribes? You don't know him? He's from Amara. Those people, they will not lead this country. Maseret, you need to be a president of this country. I will not elect him. I will judge people because of the tribe. I judge the people of the objective that they have, the emotional intelligence, the most important. We have the people who done this. They are not our leaders. During the election, when the voting, the contestant, I need to call the rallies to go to talk to the people, to express the vision that they need to say. The first thing that African people need to say that if I have sent and you go to the meeting, the first word that I need to use, I asked you, did he give you money or did he give us money during the meeting? Did the money was given? Because I know if the money was given, those money will be given based on the tribals, even though they'll be based by the party, because our party we have is not a party for vision, it's a tribal party. African party are not a party that can make the entitlement of the Africans. If the answer is no, there is no money that was given, the second question is, did he give you puts or t-shirt? The one who absent during the meeting. If I say no, there was no money that was given for the participant, I will say the third word is I'm lucky because I will not go to the non-productive meeting. The fourth and the last will be asked by Africans. I will not go back again to that meeting because the meeting have no even the entertainment. There's no money, there's no water, there's no food. What kind of the meeting is that? And he said that he's a contester. Do you need the leader to give you money, or you need the leader to make the country better place for Ethiopian Republic? Even our leader, they hold the view that we lose the vision and the mission. Our objective, we need money. We need food. That is why in the election, if they are not motivating us to give us the t-shirt, if they are not motivating us to give us some services, we will not go even to the voting. We will not even go to listen what they need to talk about. It is because we lose the vision. And they hold the view that the good thing that to lead these people is when you give them the money. This is the bribery. And tomorrow, if they corrupt, we blame them, while we are the one who started this problem. We are the one who bought base for the interest of the money that they have, and we're the one who bought them because they are my tribes. The third one, we are the one who train our children in the community. Those tribes are not good. These tribes are not good. If you are taught your child from 0 level to the stage where he can compete with different part of the tribe in the country, can he able to manage himself or herself? He can't. Because the mind dormant that you put in his mind or her mind for the long lifetime will not let him to come up with objective. This is the thing that we have been doing now as African people, African politicians, before our leaders come up with the final solution. Our leaders, they are the goals brothers, but we are in the same field with them. But because they are the one who bring the goals, that's why we blame them. In our country, there are some tribes who taught the children that whom kill your father, they are those tribes. Who kill your mother, they are those tribes. Who does this, they are those tribes. The problem of ours is inside, not outside from other tribes. I have on that case scenario that I need to share on us based on tribalism problem. On this tribalism problem, before I go to my second problem, I will brief on this. Your Excellency, allow me to have just this little opportunity. Then number 2 is the problem with Russia. African, they have been conceived that the Russia is the best friend for us, but I need to take this in brief form. African solution will become on within Africa, not a part of this country, a part of this continent. Russia is not best friend for us. There was a conference that was met on Berlin conference 1884 up to 1885. The Russia was being excluded by them. Let me take this example if I was with them, but I was with them spiritually. They told Russia that there will be the time for us to deal for these blind peoples, but now let you not have a site to colonize one of the country here. So they exclude the Russia. Even the America was not a part of this. There's some part of the Western that was using the praying, and some part of this, they was in that movement. Because you know that when you have a power, it's good for you also for your power to overtake the peoples. The Russia was out because when I anger with you, when the African politician come and they fuels what is being fueled by them as the Western people, then you'll go and Russia to get the weaponaries. You'll go to America to get the weaponry, to fuel the war, to escalate the situation in your country, to go into the war stage. This is the emotional intelligence that the American and the Russian are doing. They are best friends to each other. Even if you go to the American and has some missile, if America have those kind of things, you will go to the Russia. Please, do you have this? I will go to this blind man. He warned me to give him this missile. Give me, I'll go to the blind man. If you go to the America and America have no such kind of thing, you will go to the Russia then. The blind man has been calling me to have this whole thing. This is not our best friend. Our problem will be solved by African problem. Number 2 is the long term of the leadership. In brief way. Long term of the leadership is what called the corruption. Our second problem as an African. Why African are poor in Africa? The second problem, the long term of the leadership. The long term of the leadership is what causes corruption. Because we are not compete with emotional, we are compete with the physical scene thing that we see with our hand. If we are competing with what some leaders done, we can come up with some hygiene or some proposed big thing that we can do. Here in the leadership of Debre University, the year that I was placed in 2018, it was the university is now moving like a watch. Dr. Aningagren, the president of the university, has been emerging to let this university be in the stage of the world. The 2 gates that is built, if you look, the good road we have in the campus, the light, the big building, the water. This is the leadership that we need to have in Africa, because this is the leadership of the ideas, the leadership of emotional, not the physical abdomen. Because the way that we have been now competing in Africa, there are things that are dormant in our lifetime because we compete for how many I can have. If I'm an Ethiopian, I have probability, I can elect him to have second term, but not a certain. Because that is the worst part of staying longer position. I'll talk a little bit about. And this is the first competition of ideas is the good important that the world is now emerging to be the superpower. We are now busy for dividing our tribe, but the world is busy how we can divide up. African people are busy how I can kill that mistake. Even if they are 5 in the table and one go for some distance, they will talk about him. Instead to talk the vision that the world is busy to divide African, but they are busy to kill their brothers. It's because of the tribalism, because the competition of what I can have as a billionaire. The long-term, the leadership, the people whom I say that they are good, in the story of the Rwanda, it is where we can copy the good, what was done by the Paul Kagame. Because the story of Rwanda that Rwandese come from out in 1994, the year that I was born 1 month later, it is the worst story. But staying in the power for so long, even though you are good enough, is not the solution that you can solve your country. There will be the time that God will deal with you. And if God deal with you, whom do you think that you can take the lead of the country? If you are the good person, we need to make the good. And all people are not in the same objective that you have. They have different opinions. Make sure that the good important that can let your successor to succeed in the forming of the permanent democrat, the long-term leadership. 10 years enough for people to be emerged because your leadership is inspiring the people. The third problem is the problem of neo-colonialism and imperialism. The imperialism and neo-colonialism is the most part that Africa is going because now our money has been captured. In brief history, in the 2013, 6 months after our country fell into the civil war, I was given a scholarship. We are 30 number to go to the study in China, in Hong Kong. So people are celebrating that they will go. It seems like if they're going to the events, if they understood that people are going to the outside of this continent. Everyone is chaotic and enjoyed. But I have just phoned one of my friends that I will not have an interest to go to study in China. I suppose I'll study in Africa. They look at me as have some mentality problem because someone who refused not even to study in Africa seems like he's not the one who capable to make Africa. But I tell him, I've never seen some Chinese student to come and study this country. So is Africa is not a place where they can study? One man come for the convenient ideas. He said that China is a well-developed country where you can be a more expert person if you go there. I tell him, well, it's well convenient. But you heard that China for 200 years back, it was a third world country. America was a third world country. All those world, they were suffering a lot. But my question is, who taught Chinese to be more technologist people? Who taught them? And where did the Chinese students, where they got their own education? In which place where Chinese are studying? I need the one who taught Chinese to be world technologists instead for me to go to be taught by the Chinese. The one who taught Chinese, I will go to him to taught me because I will be like Chinese. But Chinese, they were a last world people after 200 years back. But now they beat us. How they beat us? It's not the God who sent the angel of him from heaven to tell the Chinese to be more expert. But they are the Chinese whom emerged that the problem of the China should not be solved by different Western world, but they are the Chinese citizens who come up with the unity of the China. We need to show to the world wide that Africa is capable to do the good thing. Africa is the foundation of the whole civilization on the earth. Everyone knows it. This is because of neo-colonialism and imperialism. We lose our self-esteem that we are not people who can do the better thing in our lifetime. Is it not the God who say that America is international people, but they are them who come up to say and approve to the world that we are international people with a combination of ideas. I tell him I will not go. I born in Africa. Africa's solution will be for Africans. And I'm lucky I feel home. And I'm lucky I get this university and this country that I'm envisioning that I will be in this place. This is what we need to talk about it, that African people, they need to realize that Africa need to be a better place for African because Africa is not a better place for us now. It is a better place for the Western people who come and invest here. For you, my fellow African hosts, The Chinese, who has just been coming from different places, are our age mate, and they come on behalf of the country, not for their own abdomen, not for the competition of the car and the telephone and the goods, smart thing that we have now. Because if we see someone have big abdomen, having good car, is rich, everyone respected him. This is the mind possession and polite. And for us, we need to emerge as the people with objective and a purpose, as the people as one thing. This is the new colonialism now. If you ask it, our player here, or in this house, who is the best player of the Pasil Kanama in Barda? He will not tell you. He will tell you if he's from the Wallo, or he's from Chua, or he's from Gondar, or he's from Gojam. Because it's the sub-tribe of that guy. This is where you will know that player. But if he's from the different part of that one, if the guy is from Gondar and the player is from Wallo or Chua or Gojam, he will not know that best player because he's not from the sub-tribe. Because within Amaran, there's different sub-tribe that will still segregated themselves. And if you ask him who is the best player of the Manchester United, the Liverpool, he will tell you from the beginning of the top. This is a mind possession. If you go to the town and buy the clothes now, the wholesaler actually will tell you that this clothes is not good, it's made in Ethiopia. This is good, it's made in Italy. This is good, it's made in the Ukraine. This is good, it's made in Germany. Do you know Germany? Do you know the brand? Even I personally, I say that, oh, this guy is dressed like if he come from London. Even I don't know London. This is because our mind has been captured. We're just going nowhere. And the most pure problem is with people who complain that we are educated. We are not educated people. You have PhD, you have proposal, you have master, you have whatever. This is the symbol of faith. As the least African people have used their education in the good quality. Because the function of education to teach you to think critically, logically, to be a well-educated person, to make change. If you compare the leadership of the Menelik, the great man, I call him his proposer and doctor and the master. He's the master of the master. Because now, if the Mankwa tribe in Mozambique is starting the election and someone failed, then he will come and run that we Mankwa have been just removed in the position because our tribe are weak. The Chona and Shogona, they're in the position now, they are not removed. It's happening in Africa. We, the politicians, we, the educated, we are misleading the uneducated. You come and cry in the problem of your people because of tribe. I was removed in the position. And when you was in position, even you don't know who are they. You centigrate what you have, and ecocentrism. This is the problem of mentality. The third, the fourth, the last one, is the religion. The religion has become the worst part now in Africa. Because when you see how we use the religion, it's another mind condescending that we go through it. If you tell the Muslim the way that they pray the God, they will get up their pistol and kill you. If you go to the Christian, that the way you pray the God, they will get up the pistol and kill you. Jesus said in the John chapter 14, verse 6, I'm the way, the truth. No one will come to me without go to me. No one will come to my Father without come to me. But are we follow what is being established in the Bible? Despite that, we go to church 24/7, we're fasting. Israelites were punished for 470 years. When they moved from Canaan to Israel, they went there because of the punishment that was done by Joseph, his brother. When the Joseph was sold away, God was punished them. That's why they moved from Canaan to Israel. They spent 430 years. When they moved from there, when the Moses came and took them from Egypt to the promised land, they was not even understood what the God is meaning. They crossed the river Jordan with very miracles. God gave them the two pillars. God gave them the manna, but still they have not understand who is God. When God talked to Moses, he said that this problem of these people should not be solved, but the only way is let you go to the Mount Sinai and have a commandment and the covenant. Maybe they will understand. Moses went there for 40 days. Even the 5 days, they told to the Moses that you brothers, they told to Aaron, your brother Moses will not come back. He's not long alive. We need the God now. They will stay there. Moses gave them the commandment, the 10 commandments, but I will talk about 5 this commandment. God said, do not kill, do not steal, Do not accuse someone powerless. Do not feel jealous. Do not commit adultery. This is among the 10 commandments. For the sake of time, I will talk for this Bible. But are we following this thing now? We the pastor, we the deacon, we the choir, we are the first people who has been stealing. Because we are all Christian, we are all Muslim, we are all God believers. In the opposite, you steal the budget that has been allocated to the Parita Warada and you steal the 10 million and you're the pastor. What kind of that? And you are the God believer. We are the one who accuse someone. If someone have a good car, you're going to accuse him to be in jail in the police by national security or to be assassinated. We are always committing the adultery for the young girl, for the young woman, for whatever that you have been looking, even we the pastor. And this is what God punished the Israelites because they are not with him. And God gave them the 10 commandments and still they are not understanding the 10 commandments. We have in the 10 commandments in the Bible and we need to know this. This is the whole example that we need to know that when God was there, we are not understanding what is possible for us. Because we are not know what we need to do in our lifetime. When God has been told to the Moses that let these people just go to the mount and let us go to see how the Canaan is going. When the 12 spies was sent, 12 tribes, they were sent to go to inspect. Only 2, the Caleb and Joshua, they said, the Lord Almighty with us, we will defeat these people. But 10 of them will not accept it. They say that you, the Moses and Aaron, you are the biggest problem. Even the Moses, you are the worst part compared to the parent. Because those people whom we seen them, we were not able to defeat them. This is because of tribalism. Everyone support what is said by my child. If my child says this is true, God say, you will see my power. God punished them for 40 days. For 40 years to stay in the bush. The distance that you move from the whole city of Ramses to the Jerusalem is by driving is around 902 minutes by car. And by flying is 135 minutes. And by foot is 3 to 4 days. And it took them 40 years in the bush. If you count the 430 years plus 40 years that they spent is 470 years under the slavery. It is because the mind was captured. They don't rely on the emotional intelligence, the competition of ideas. Now we are under the colony job, the worst part of the colony, that we need to emerge as an African. And for us to come in this whole thing, we need to rely for the solution. On the 2, we must say that the revenge is good things. Jesus, the one whom we all pray him, an African, because this is the one that was being brought by the missionary. And good, God is good. I'm not decompaining the God. I know how the power of Lord is, but I decompain how we pray. How I and how you praying God. They come to this point when Jesus kills by the Jews. The last word that he said. He says the 7th word, but I will say the first one. Jesus tell to the Lord Almighty, forgive them because they don't know what they do. Whom I should be forgiven are the Jews, those whom are killing. It is said in the Bibles of Matthew chapter 18, verse 21, the New Testament. When Jesus was asked by his own fellows, Simon Peter, Lord, how many times can I forgive my brother? Jesus said, you can forgive your brother 770 times. But are we doing that? The first thought that is in our heart, if I get the power, I will marginalize those unmarried, those who are Makwa, those Obindu, those Kizi, those Kalenjin, those Anywa, those Nuer. This is the mind position. And you complain that you are the Christian, you are the Muslim, you are God follower, and you depart with what God said. And if we need to come as the African that we need to rely, let us just leave the God there. You say that this stay by my God. It's restricted in my God that I will not do this. My God said this, and you're not come for the solution that you can do this. My Africans, Your Excellency, I need to share us the last one. This is a time that we need to make Africa a better place for Africans. And for us to live this in time, we need to have live legacy. there is a life legacy. For you to come to the life legacy, you need to have these three things. We need to believe in our self-esteem that we are capable to do the good things. I know, and you all know that we are the capable. The whole thing has been starting by Africa by hand with us. But the matter is, we lock our minds. When you close your house, it's too hard for you if you lock the key. But if you lock it, or if you open it, it'll be easy for you. Let us open our mind. And the good thing to open our mind is we need to have deep peace in ourselves. The second one is you need to be non-tribalism. Non-tribalism is the biggest problem that is very worst part in the life. I may brief on it, and I brief some point of it. And the biggest problem in you as an individual is it will make you to think like a child, unpolitely. You will think like a child on behalf of the tribalism. The last is money. If you have a life legacy, you need to be non-money lover. Money are paper, money are useless, and pack there like a soap. Because we don't know the time that we leave the house. Everyone will die. You come naked and you go naked. Why you kill your brother? Because of money that you will not have with you, even the one coin. You will be buried naked and you come naked. And this is the main problem that we kill our brother. For us to be a passionate, a purposeful people, we need to have this life legacy. From now, I need the United States of Debre University, the United States of Ethiopia, the United States of Africa. Viva United States of Ethiopia. Viva United States of Ethiopia. Viva United States of Africa. Viva Vision Africa. God bless you.